So, hi Cassie, thanks for joining us today. Just wanted to have a strict 5 minutes with you really and sort of share with people, your journey over the last sort of year, 18 months or so. Obviously it's been busy, last year in particular. You've been on BBC Radio with John Griff, I think, 3 times, and you've been in the Weight Watchers magazine, and so what you're doing is really sort of starting to get noticed, on quite a large scale, which is great. So I think we'll just sort of go into a little bit more detail about what body confidence is, but before we do, and I've known you for a couple of years, so I know this story, but Cassie, could you just sort of share with us your rock bottom moment, okay? Where you were when you sort of decided to start changing things. When was life at its worst for you? How long ago? How long ago was it?
It was quite a few years ago now. It would be fair to say that I've had quite a few ups and downs in my life, and I'd had a particularly stressful time where my life had literally crumbled around my feet overnight, and I just hit the self-destruct button. And I was convinced that I was fat and that I was ugly. People wouldn't have really known this from the outside looking in. They still would have seen someone that seemed quite with it and held together. But I hated the way that I looked, and I'd gone from a point where I was trying to lose weight. I'd quite recently had my son. He was only 6 months old, and I was trying to lose the weight from him. But when I hit rock bottom, I drastically lost a lot of weight. I don't know if like your clients can relate to, you're so hungry but you can't eat, and you're so tired and you can't sleep, that awful stress.
Yeah, energy levels were low and everything like that as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And just bit by bit, I was just sort of starving myself without even realising. I wasn't eating properly, I wasn't sleeping properly. And I then drastically lost a lot of weight. And I'd bought a new pair of jeans, and someone said to me, "You've bought the wrong size jeans." And I got quite defensive. I said, "I haven't. These are a size 10 and that's my size." And they were like, "Well, you need to look at yourself in the mirror because they're hanging off your hips." And I got quite defensive, but in the end I went back to the shop and tried on a pair of size 8 jeans, and they fitted me. And I can still remember looking in the mirror, looking at the jeans and saying to myself, "You need to sort this out, Cassie," because I was stood in a pair of size 8 jeans, so I couldn't have been fat.
Yeah. But inside your head, you were convinced that you still.
Yeah, so I knew from that moment that I owed it to myself and my son that I needed to piece my life back together, and I needed to get back on track.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I did, and so
that was your turning point, kind of thing, and
it was.
Yeah.
And so from there, I did rebuild my life, and everything was fine for the next few years. But unfortunately, 2 years ago, history repeated itself. My life collapsed for the second time around my feet, a lot worse actually this time. And I knew that I was going to lose my house. There was a potential to lose my business that I was running at the time. But actually what scared me more than that was losing myself again and losing my confidence and being a scared little girl in the changing rooms. And that's when I decided that I was going to do everything possible not to crumble.
Yeah.
So that is when I started to work on my attitude, my mindset, and strengthen that.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. It was life-changing, and that sounds quite drastic, but it was life-changing. I could have been forgiven for sitting in a corner, rocking with what had happened in my life, but in actual fact, I was calm, I was confident, I was in control. And instead of hitting that self-destruct button again, I was looking after myself and realised that it isn't just about what you look like.
Yes.
I, as you know, Ricky, I fully endorse healthy eating, I fully endorse exercise.
Yeah.
But it really resonated to me loud and clear that it's not just about weight loss. You need to change the way you think about yourself.
And that's what you now teach others. That's basically, in essence, what body confidence is. That's what you. So your journey. You've been through it. You've sort of gone through the trenches yourself, and this is now what you share with others and how they can do exactly the same sort of thing. So where can people get more information on that, Cass? So we've got 15 seconds left, so how can they just sort of get a little bit more information on that?
If they go to my website, cassiefarren.com, I've just released a free webinar, Truth